everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, Terrace House Podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Daily Wilhelm,
Konbanwa,
Jack Sabeda,
Irashaimase, and this is the cussiest Terrace House podcast on the internet. I'm self-proclaiming.
Yep, we can prove it with data and science and facts.
Cussiest.
And Colin Sparling.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm probably responsible for 60% of that.
It's okay.
God,
maybe
fucking
70.
Damn it, Colin.
You know, let's make it a contest. Let's make it a contest. If you're listening, keep a tally on every time one of us curses, and we'll see who's the grand winner by the end of this.
I would at least go as far as to say is I dropped the fuck bomb the most.
There it is. That's one.
I'm so sorry, internet. I didn't know I was going to open the floodgates. I should have known better.
Shit, Jack.
Dang it, Dale.
Look what the fuck you did.
My mom listens to the show.
I'm sorry.
No, just kidding. She doesn't.
I feel bad.
You know, would it be one of those things where like if someone did a TV quote unquote TV edit of our podcast, would it like be enhanced or like funnier because our curse words are replaced by nonsense words or beeps?
I'm tired of these monkey fighting plates on this Monday to Friday plane.
That's one
of the best.
That's one of the best. My other favorite is Pineapple Express. They replace every time they say asshole, they say casserole.
Casserole.
You stupid casserole.
My favorite one is in Die Hard, where instead of saying yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, he says yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on the stick.
And I like the way The Good Place does it. The Good Place does it with like fork and shirt, but the way they deliver it is so...
Holy forking shirt balls.
Holy mother forking shirt balls.
The reason we cuss so much is just in case anyone ever wanted to throw us a nickel in terms of advertising money. We just make it easy to say no. No.
Well,
money
listen,
here.
everyone on YouTube, even the higher subscriber like big players on YouTube are losing their verification right now and being demonetized before they're even posting. So honestly, I think we were a lost cause before we even started.
We were ahead of the curve. We just started cussing in episode 1.
I honestly, guys, I don't think we're missing much by being advertiser friendly because there's no advertisements to have.
No fucking compromises, guys. We curse because we want to curse. It's who we are as people.
We really curse in real life.
Because we care.
And we curse because I feel like
we're the care cussers.
There was like an SNL skit, but it was like making fun of Monsters Inc. would say, "We curse because we care." Like we scare because we care.
Yes,
we care about Terrace House.
It's the third Monsters Inc. movie where they've gone beyond laughter, where now monsters just walk into children's rooms and just say curse words. They just walk in and are like, fuck, ass. Shit.
Guys, what if it's like a home with a kid that has abusive parents, and then these monsters are walking in like, "You motherfucker!" Dude, you're gonna fuck these kids up.
They're already fucked up.
Pixar, I know you're listening. I expect royalty checks. Thanks.
They're gonna pay us. They're gonna pay us.
Yeah, because it's our idea.
for us using their IP. Got it.
Yeah. But it's our idea for their IP. That's where they get that.
Guys,
I think that's how that. Sure.
We all love Terrace House. That's why we're here.
That's true.
There we go.
Yeah. So taking this back to Terrace House.
Yeah. Let's talk about Monsters Inc. Terrace House crossover that I've always wanted.
No, don't fuck with me right now.
This week, we're going to talk about Tokyo 2019-2020, Episode 3, Dreaming of Her. A very luscious title that says a lot more than you expect by the end of it.
Yeah, that's it's really weird because they decided to take something that's just one of those really minute things that's kind of like throw into the episode and then just really focus on it to make it sound bigger than it is.
Yes. But I mean, it is kind of a big deal, and we'll get to that toward the end of this episode for sure. But before we dive into the episode, I just want to let you all know, if you enjoy what we do every week here, please leave us an iTunes review. It'd help out a lot. By telling a stranger on the internet, you can help us grow because we're pretty independent and we've been doing a lot of organic growth here. So every little bit helps us and it helps us kind of reach new opportunities and make better content for you,
For every written iTunes review that's left, an angel gets their wings. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And wait, we keep forgetting. What are we gonna do though? Because iTunes is dying.
Hello?
What?
Like, know, iTunes isn't gonna be a thing anymore, right?
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. I wonder where podcasts will go after that. I mean, like, look, podcasts are still going to be sold through. Well, not sold. We don't sell.
It's going to be like through Apple Music or some bullshit.
Yeah, either way.
We'll still be here, guys. We'll still be here.
Actually, if iTunes dies, we just cease to exist.
Where are we going to live, guys? You're scaring me.
We're just going to fly away like Thanos snap. Like,
yeah, it's not like they're going to just kill Apple Music or iTunes. They're going to Thanos snap it away, and then everyone's suddenly like, "The fuck's a podcast?"
I am Terrace House. Snap.
Good. That's a spoiler.
Anyway, there were pancakes. I need to talk about these pancakes, guys.
Oh,
we need to get into this.
Pancakes. Plain is a flavor.
Plain is a flavor. Let's dive in. So this episode kicks off with I want to swing by the panel real quick first because I totally agree with Tokui here, and it's especially salient at the end of the episode. Tokui points out that Ruka's face gets red probably because he's a horny boy.
He's
a horny.
That's a statement. That is a statement.
No, that's out there now. I mean, I don't know, man. Where is all that blood going to his face? I mean, all that blood's going to his face. So, like, I don't know.
It's going to one
head. That's all
head.
I'm gonna say about it. It's going to one head.
Jack is reeling back in laughter.
Oh my god, I'm
proud
really
of myself.
holding back this episode, guys. I can't do this. Please go on.
By the end of it, Jack's just gonna like explode in his chair.
I'm really trying.
No,
really trying.
I just think that's just a good way to set up a good bookend for this episode. But we open up with the date between Ruka and Risako. They meet up in the kitchen. Ruka's still got his hair all wet and soppy, and they decide, let's go get
You just
pancakes.
had to use that adjective, didn't you?
I did, because Ruka is craving pancakes.
Did anyone else think, and it comes up again later in the episode, but like he has a problem with eye contact, it seems like, or at least like facing the camera. Like it seems like a couple times he was talking to someone and he's like facing completely away from them. It's so weird.
I was actively taking screenshots with the intention of like finding some good screenshots for use of the thumbnail. If you hate the thumbnails, blame me. But
Yikes.
and there are very few shots where he's actually like facing the camera for the most part. Like he very much hides behind his bangs. Like he dips his head quite a bit.
Yeah. He's like the opposite of Kaito from OND. Because Kaito, he will look dead ass into the camera.
Right.
Yes.
He's
he
like,
would
are you
find the camera and look into it.
Kaito's like, you get my good side, right? Whereas
You
Ruka's
go
like,
up to it and like sniff the lens.
My good side's my eyes.
yeah.
But yeah, so they go to Futako Shinchi in Kanagawa. They go to a cafe called Idobata, where they get a ton of food. They had like frittata, they had pancakes, and Ruka complained that the pancakes weren't sweet because he got plain pancakes.
They were yummy. They were tasty. They were delicious.
But not
are
sweet.
they sweet?
I loved the exchange that they had there because it was so like, oh, but like, what is it? Is it good? Is it sweet? Is it? And he's like, there's just, where's the flavor? And it's like, somehow it got to the point where Risako was like, do you think that plain isn't an ingredient? Because it's not.
And I love, like, Ruka is an idiot here, right? Because he goes on, like, to confirm his newfound understanding of plain. He's like, so that means there's no additional ingredients? Like, dude.
Like it's
He
just
like opens the menu to look. He's like, wait, let me look.
I get the feeling here he doesn't look at many menus. Maybe when him and his family go out to eat, they order for him. I'm getting this vibe. And can we just talk about his style for a second? Because his style is on display this whole episode. And he went to this restaurant kind of dressed like the lead singer of Coal Chamber. I don't know. It was very emo what he was wearing. He had like all these buckles
He's got
and
like a
zippers.
very long huff shirt.
Yeah.
He felt very like streetwear. Like from what little I know about streetwear, he felt very streetwear.
Very
it's
hip-hop.
very, very much so.
And it doesn't fit what we know about him. He's not very street.
Yeah, did Tetsuya Nomura design his fashion or what?
It was getting there for me.
All the zippers.
All the zippers and all the wallet chains.
But nonetheless, Risako is into this. She's laughing, I mean, at him, he's not laughing with her, but she's enjoying herself at the very least.
Yeah, but he never stops being nice. He's always nice, even though she's making fun of him.
Right. And Risako also asks, hey, so normally your face goes red because that's pretty much the only personality trait we know about you. Why isn't your face red now? And she goes on to say, well, because Ruka says he's comfortable. And she asks, is it because I'm the least feminine?
Awkward.
Where did she get that idea, though?
I don't know.
Out of everyone in the house, I would say that I guess Haruka's the least feminine because she wears pretty minimal makeup, and she has that old man soul. So
yeah,
I mean, is this just a jab? I feel like this is just a jab at him.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she's doing it in jest.
They're fact-finding. She's fact-finding, too. She's like, no, seriously, like, why are you not red? Because this is the first time.
Maybe she's kind of like fishing for, it's like, no, like, I see you as a woman.
Oh, she's fishing for compliments, you mean?
Fishing for information.
Yeah, I think information is the right word here. Because, I mean,
fishing for feelings.
Yeah.
If his whole thing is I get red around women and he doesn't get red around this specific woman, why?
And I got the sense too that she's definitely attracted to him. I feel like, but I mean, we know that now that we saw the whole episode. But I mean, even at this phase, I was like, she's attracted to him, at least on a physical level. To agree to go to a movie she doesn't want to go to.
Yeah, and she even opens the door here for her next date because she just says out of the blue that she really wants to skateboard. And, Ruka does skate. We haven't seen it yet on the show, but he mentions he's a snowboarder, he's a skateboarder. So that's just another, like, foot in the door for date 2,
Yeah. I believe that we kind of, like, wrote off, like, going to go see the movie as kind of, like, she just really doesn't want to be, like, the last person to interact with anyone. But I think she's genuinely... at this point, like, yeah, I want to hang out with Ruka more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we don't actually see them go to the movie. That just happens off camera, which, I mean, makes sense. The most boring thing I think we could do is watch someone watching a movie, right?
But you know what, though? I was hoping I was hoping for her to become, because it didn't seem like she was a fan of Detective Conan. And I was hoping for that scene where they just smash cut to them walking down the street together, like maybe eating some of their leftover popcorn. And she's just like now this huge, crazy Detective Conan fanboy. And she's just talking about all her favorite parts of the movie. Like, and then they did this, and then they did that. And now we got to go watch the other 25 movies that are out. And like just becoming this, this big thing where now she's turned on Detective Conan and she wants more. It didn't happen, but she still had a positive like disposition to the movie. She had a good time, it seems like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the equivalent of like, hey, we should go see the new Pixar movie, right? Someone's like, I don't know if I want to go see that. And then it's like, well, hey, that was better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, because it's Pixar. I feel like this is kind of like the same thing where she's like, oh, yeah, it was like better than I thought it was going to be. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't imagine it being too bad.
Right. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, right? Because while they're at the movie, we cut to that scene in the playroom, right? With Kenny and Kaori. They're sitting there. They're chilling together. It's a really nice vibe. Low lighting. Very mood lighting.
You stole my word.
What Tokui said, he was like, moody lighting.
And we get to see a close-up of... This show really likes that underboob shot because we get to see a pretty good close-up of Kenny's drawing of that girl with the underboob and the hamburger in front of her, right? But basically, it's them kind of talking shop. It's very nerdy speak, like they're just talking about, oh, like, how do you do this drawing thing? Oh, it's really cool. Like, oh, I actually like it without outlines instead of with outlines.
Man.
And it's such a nice moment, and I want them to be together.
They make each other better, and they weren't wasting their time like bonding over their artistic endeavors. And I agree. I thought the picture looked a lot better without the outline. Yeah. And Kaori was like, I'm actually jealous of this now when it doesn't have the outline. So it was an awesome moment. I mean, how could you not wonder what if in this case?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I've saw when I was scrolling through my Reddit feed that somebody posted on our Terrace House that they're shipping Shohei and Kaori already. And I'm like, really? Based on what we've seen so far? But I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can see that. So that's my thing. I was going to bring it up later, but I feel like with Kaori, she's the kind of person who gets along with everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like in this scene, she gets along super well with Kenny. She can relate to him on a lot of levels because their profession, well, her profession and one of his hobbies are pretty in line with each other. But later on in that date, I feel like she gets along with Shohei very well too. You know, it's just kind of who she is.
She's just easy to get along with. She knows herself. I feel like she's mature, and so she just can get along with most people in most cases. But we come to find out, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but you know, she's got a lot of internal anxiety that she isn't really letting out yet.
Yes, that's true. But yeah, this whole scene with Kenny and Kaori, that kind of cemented to me that like of everyone in the house, this is the one ship that I want to happen right now.
Shoulders touching. Their shoulders touched.
Yeah,
that's pretty close to like an indirect kiss.
What?
Yeah.
Shoulders touching.
I mean, that's basically sex.
Yeah.
No, I mean
that's like fifth
Girl,
base.
I need to ask your dad for permission. I want to touch that shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
It's like seventh base. No, but it's like that is something though. Like you don't just unintentionally touch someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were looking at the iPad. I'm trying to be pure here.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
a small screen.
They were both very well aware that they were touching. There was contact.
Contact.
There was a bond forming. There was a bond forming.
Yeah.
I agree.
I liked the advice that she gave too, because watching, like, I like the art that he produces, but Kenny's process, he's just using the touchpad on his MacBook to do like this very intricate, like, line art, like coloring in, and it's like, and she's like, no, get a tablet, everything will be so much better, just get a drawing tablet.
Yeah. You fucking mad. He probably doesn't have any money.
Well, that's what he said. He said the money isn't there, and I'm like, bitch, you're on Terrace House now. You can get whatever you want.
Terrace House money. That's pretty impressive though, to just use a touchpad. I mean, touchpads are not known for their precision in art.
It's like the people that are like, I play League of Legends and I'm like level 30 and I have this record. It's like, yeah, so what? I play on a touchpad. Whoa!
I know a guy who did that. He was a frightening person.
Wow.
It's like,
We
are
should not-
you right in the head?
I'm scared.
We should not underestimate Kenny's power and patience here.
Yeah. So after that scene, we cut to a scene in the kitchen where Shohei, Kaori, and Kenny are working together to kind of prep some food. Shohei wants to prep his Ludo fan while they're also making the Jido fan. There are lots of Rofans going on here.
All I know is it looked good as fuck.
It did. And here we get a little bit of interaction between Kenny and Shohei. Kenny asked Shohei how the audition went, and Shohei seemed a little bit like iffy about it. I don't know. He was kind of like, it was, it was fine.
Yeah, he was very passive. He was like, I went there and I did the thingy.
I detected,
and the detecting whatever they do, and now I'm here.
Maybe he should have watched the Detective Conan movie to kind of get some pointers.
Isn't this
research?
Isn't this also the episode where Shohei talks to his old employer and is looking to take on demolition work again as well too?
Yeah, that happens later.
Is that a red flag?
Painting.
Yeah, it was like indoor painting, not demolition.
Yeah, but interior stuff. Should that be a red flag that he's doing that?
I don't know.
Overall, and like even his former employer who had a boss ass scarf on, I loved his style.
He was bougie. He had some fashion going on.
Looks like Masao picked out and gifted him that scarf.
Yes, on a very romantic date. But he was kind of like, you seem pretty wishy-washy about acting. You should be throwing yourself more in there. And I wonder if in that moment he was getting flashbacks back to the conversation with Haruka.
Right.
But that's getting ahead of ourselves here. We're still at dinner time.
Right. I'm gonna speculate. I'm gonna speculate since we're on the subject.
Okay.
I think that because Shohei's like throwing out I think he's just insecure. I think he's insecure is what I'm getting at. So the temper incident happens and he's talking about like, throwing yourself at one thing. And then, he's really wishy-washy about the audition, goes to his previous employers like, hey, I need a job, I need to start working. And he's like, yeah, but should you be throwing yourself at acting? He's like, I can do this too. I like this too. So I'm starting to think he's just, something's going on that we don't know about. Maybe, I don't know if it's him being insecure or
when you bring it up this
the way he wants.
When you bring it up this way, it kind of makes me think he's scared to fail. So if he never really throws himself at one thing whole hog, then he doesn't have to worry about failing because he's got in his head 10 other things that he's good at. Maybe.
Well, I mean, and also consider, right, that everyone's heard that story of the actor who's also a waiter or waitress at night, or they work at a coffee shop by day, right? Like,
well, sure.
It's very common that actors also hold down another side job, at least until they become, like, I don't know, Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, and every server in Los Angeles is working on a screenplay too. You'll get that too.
Oh yeah,
exactly. So I don't think this is necessarily a red flag. I just think this is just the nature of this is a reality of being an actor, especially an up and coming one, because before, like, as an actor, you don't have a 9 to 5. You have I'm working on this movie right now, and we film 9 to 5 during these months. But then when those months are over, I don't know. Right.
For me, the line though in that conversation that kind of resonated for me was that he was like, "Well, you can't really do anything as an actor until you're invited to do a role," which.
Right.
Yeah, that is the nature of the business, but for me it just kind of seemed like he was taking off responsibility of that part of like what is his role to work toward versus like just waiting around.
Yeah, waiting for things to happen to him rather than taking the initiative and forming those relationships and creating those opportunities to meet those decision makers.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's going out of his way to do much like networking or meeting with people too much. I mean, granted, he just got back to Japan from being in Taiwan or Thailand for how long?
Taiwan for a while.
Or is it Taiwan?
Yeah, he's been there for
another
years.
one. Pick another country.
He's been in Bangkok
Antarctica.
for a while.
Go fish.
Antarctica. That's it. No, but in this little conversation, I think I immediately like Shohei, the boss, and I'm kind of rooting for him to be our best non-member so far, because in that conversation you could tell he cares about Shohei, almost maybe like in a fatherly, like paternal way, but not enough to actually meddle with his life. Because when Shohei says, "Oh, I kind of do like working with furniture though," his boss is just like, "Fuck off, like be serious about acting, don't say that." Right, like actually care about your main job.
Talk some sense into this man.
Yeah, there's concern written over his boss's faces.
For sure.
Or his face, like just
his many faces.
His many faces.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily worried for Shohei yet, because going back to Hajikami Interiors, like, that's fine. It's his old stomping ground, and every actor before they become big, it needs a boring normal job, right? But if he gets too comfy and he starts to quote unquote like working with furniture, that's the red flag.
That was Harrison Ford was a carpenter.
Just like Jesus.
Before he made it big. Just like Jesus.
Yes, he was.
Before he made it big.
Just like before Jesus made it big. He was a carpenter too.
So what's the through line here, kids? Take up a trade while you're trying to act.
Right now, though, Shohei is the premier cook of the house.
He is.
And that dish looked awesome. And props for the boiled egg, too, the hard-boiled egg.
Right.
Real good.
So yeah, let's bring it back a bit. Let's go back to while Shohei, Kaori, and Kenny are prepping the meal, Ruka and Risako come back home from the date, and there's just so much energy just gets just injected into this scene. Like, Risako is just this ball of energy, like, "Oh, it was really fun. I brought gifts for everyone. Here's a takoyaki maker." I don't know. If I'm going to be honest, this scene was kind of a mess because there were like 3 conversations happening at once across many people.
Yes.
And
I felt
yeah.
I felt so bad for Risako. Like, she was so cute.
She wanted to talk about the movie.
She was like crawling around on her knees. So it just looked kind of funny too. Like, she was suddenly very short, and she's already pretty short to begin with.
Right.
And she was like, and it went like this, and oh, no one's listening. Okay.
Yeah. But she even fell asleep for 20 minutes, and that was fine. Like, in the movie,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And then Ruka could have been salty and shady about it, but he actually had a really good response to it. He asked her if she's cold and offered her a jacket.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. And, like, so Risako, she tells this to Kaori in confidence later, but she's basically saying, "Hey, I think Ruka's kind of nice. I think I might like him. I find myself laughing a lot around him, even when he isn't joking. And he actually, he actually cares about me and, like, whether I'm cold or not." And she had, quote, "simply a great time."
Yeah, I mean, we can't say the same about Ruka, though, in this situation.
Man, the juxtaposition of these two conversations that are happening, because it's Ruka and Shohei up on the roof in that very interesting roof area that we have that still looks like a sauna to me, and they're smoking, and I just felt like I needed to tell Ruka, like, no,
Don't
it's
smoke.
not
No,
allowed.
bad.
You're too young.
Listen, so Shohei is a heavy smoker. He's a heavy smoker. He smokes a lot.
So what I find funny is, I grew up with a father who's a smoker. I know a thing or two about smoking, even though I've never smoked myself. You look at Shohei and the way he holds a cigarette, you're like, yeah, that's like his millionth cigarette. Like, he fucking knows how to hold a cigarette. And Ruka is just kind of like, is this how you hold? Is this right? Do I need to keep? Is it gonna fall? Is the tobacco gonna fall out if I hold it wrong?
I just want to look cool in front of Shohei. Guys, help.
Yeah.
And who would have guessed that Shohei is kind of taking on a bit of a wingman role here for Ruka to get with Haruka? Like, wow.
Yeah, and so in this conversation, they smoking. I wrote in my notes, that's bad. But
Smoking's bad, okay? Don't do
Ruka
it,
says that with that date, he felt like it was more like hanging out rather than a proper date, though. But Ruka also admits that he's the kind of guy where his feelings for a person can change. He's not the kind of person who works on impulse and knows immediately, like, she's the one. I must be with her, right?
That's fair.
Yeah. And Shohei kind of points out at this point, hey, Risako looks pretty happy, though. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And this conversation continues where Ruka says, yeah, but I'm still kind of interested in Haruka. He's not necessarily jealous that Haruka and Kenny are going on that music date later on that we don't see in this episode. But he does admit that if he talked to Haruka more, maybe he could develop feelings that would lead him to be jealous of said date. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ruka is in a good spot, though, with Risako and shouldn't mess it up.
Yes, same.
I mean, but he doesn't feel that way.
I mean, if he doesn't feel that way, he doesn't feel that
he's
way.
I definitely feel like he feels like he's in the friend zone. I mean, the clues are all there. He wasn't turning red. He was, he didn't care if she liked the movie or not. It just seemed like it was destined for friendship kind of from the beginning when you look at it in retrospect.
Yeah, I don't think that Ruka and Risako are going to work out, but I think Risako wants it to.
Definitely. And we'll get to the why here in just a little bit too.
Yeah. But no, with Ruka, I think he's a little just kind of wishy-washy about it all, right? And my worry here is at this point, I think it's fair to say Ruka knows that Risako maybe might think of this as more than just friendship, right?
I don't know if he's that aware.
Yeah, but if he is fully 100% committed to only friendship, he needs to let her off the hook ASAP.
Yep.
The longer...
He's gotta say something red-faced or not.
Yes.
And
I'm going to go out on a limb, though, and assume that he's not emotionally mature enough to do that.
Exactly.
Agree with that. But let me tell you something not to do if you don't like a girl. Don't tell her they had a dream with her in it. There needs to be a word for this, okay? Because I know I'm not the only person out there. Please let us know. But have you guys ever had a dream about someone and you didn't expect to have it? You don't know why you had it, but then when you wake up, you like that person? Has that ever happened to anyone? It happens to me definitely like a handful of times in my life. And I'm like,
it's happened to me.
Yeah, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, I like you now? What the hell? I went to sleep, I didn't like you. I woke up, now you're in my dream, I like you
Sounds
now.
like the plot in a young adult novel.
It really
Not gonna
does.
lie.
Y'all in teen novels right now?
Has that happened to you, Daly or Robert?
No.
That's
No,
never
it's totally
happened to
not
you.
happening in the teen novel that I'm writing right now.
Oh,
right?
not at all.
No.
Really?
It's totally
All right,
not
maybe I'm
called
weird.
Twilight 2.
No, Jack, it's happened. It's happened to me.
There needs
It's
to be a
never
word
like
for
it's
this.
never been to a point where like I ended up trying to date this person or whatever, but it's definitely been one of those things where it's a random person and I like them a little bit better because of it.
There needs to be a word for this. I don't know what it is, but I want to know if there's other people out there that this has happened to. 'Cause this
I'm
happened to me
sure there's
several
some
times.
kind of like maybe study out there. It's like when your subconscious reminds you of that person, you're like you take more notice for sure, because like we assign so much meaning to dreams, whether or not they really have deep meaning or not. And it's like, oh, I've been thinking about this person, like maybe I need to re-examine our relationship or
So-
think about why was I thinking about that person.
Yeah.
So I have a theory as to why Ruka had that dream about Risako. You can consider me a dream walker here for a minute. Yeah, I fully believe. I think this is what happens. Thank you. So, is it fair to say Ruka is maybe a bit of a naive boy?
Probably.
I would say so.
Okay. Do you think he would know much about how women's hair generally works? What kind of maintenance it would take to keep it up?
No. Weird question.
No? Where is this going?
Okay. So in the dream that he told Risako about, he said,
went to the salon.
You were in my dream and you were in a salon. And I feel like for Ruka, that was like a fever dream, if you will. One of grand epiphany, where he worked out in his head how she went from wavy hair to straight hair.
Maybe. But
I did make the observation on this episode that Risako has extensions. So maybe he was
does?
like, wait a minute. Yeah, because like the way she was wearing her hair, you could see where they're like, I don't want to say like snapped in, but like where you attach your extensions close to the scalp.
I must
You could see them. So maybe he noticed that during the movie and he wanted to ask her about that.
I must be a sucker
dreamt it.
You don't ask about that.
because weaves and all that stuff, snapping extensions, and all it fools me every time. I can never tell. I just always assume everyone's hair is always their own real hair at all times. I've never looked at someone and said that's a weave or that's a wig or anything.
So sometimes you can tell by like some people that I've seen with the extensions, the texture of the extensions themselves
Doesn't
are just
match.
different.
Yeah.
I've never
rest of their
noticed,
hair.
but maybe Risako has that same feeling that I have about it. Like, oh, well, if you have a dream about someone, you must have woken up and suddenly liked me. Or maybe that was just wishful thinking. But she made the mention, right, to the table, basically, like, you should be careful about saying that to girls. Because if she had already started liking him, that she would have taken that as a clue, like he likes her back. And that's not necessarily the case. He might be a play,
Right, 'cause
play.
Yeah. The new theory is now that Ruka is secretly a player. Either that or does it unintentionally.
He's a dog.
As
Yama.
you threw out on the panel,
Yama
right? She's like,
wanted-
he throws out flirtatious vibes, just and doesn't really know.
Right, willy-nilly.
See,
Not really thinking much about it.
I think he's doing it maliciously. I think he knows. I don't
Maybe.
think he's a naive, unaware boy. Because why would you say, I had a dream about you? Like, why?
Okay. When I will tell you why. When I was single, okay, and when I had a dream about someone, I would wake up and almost every time I would like this person now, but I didn't want them to know. But it was like on my mind all day, and so I'd be like, "Hey, I had a dream about you. Yeah, we were, I don't know, shopping at the grocery store or something like that. Stupid." But I would just like get it off my mind, but I wouldn't want them to know that I like them now. It was a weird thing. I'm not like assigning that to like what is happening here on the show. I can only speak from my own personal experience. I've never told anybody this stuff either. So
Now you're telling
I
everyone.
guess
Now it's
yes,
there.
I know it's out
now
there.
everyone knows.
This is
I guess I
so
want to
long
give Ruka the benefit of the doubt because like maybe he's like me and has like just really strange off the wall dreams where it's like I had a dream that we were all at boarding school for podcasting and we became the Breakfast Club, but then one of us was a werewolf, so we had to recruit the ghoul school next door, and like it just doesn't make any sense. Like,
Did we all go into a monster race after that?
And that's why
I
Daly
wish.
loves ghouls. Right?
Did we have
She is
a-
literally
there we go.
reciting.
I
This is
woke
basically
up and I was like, oh,
this is Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School. This is the plot to the Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School, but with podcasting.
Wait a
thrown in.
second.
That's
Is this
exactly what you
is this
just
a revelation,
explained.
or are you just like making this up as you go? I thought.
I'm making it up as I go,
okay,
but
okay,
like
okay.
my dreams are usually just like when I try to explain them, it's just so weird and cyclical. Like I never wake up from a dream and I'm like, oh man, that felt so realistic. I'm always like, what the fuck?
So you've never seen Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School?
I have seen Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, and it is a choice film. Yes.
Okay.
Is that the one with the hex
I was deciding. I
girls?
was like, I don't want to. Like, am I crazy?
To wrestle us back on the rails here, though, I will say that I don't think Ruka is malicious yet, but I am willing to consider that possibility. It's just I don't feel like so far through 3 episodes we've seen any malicious bone in his body yet. If anything,
Yeah, I mean-
he's more focused on Haruka, and he's just trying to figure out how to get his foot in the door there. And maybe sadly, because I think Risako is a super nice lady, he's just not really noticing that she might like him.
I mean, we didn't think Makoto was malicious in the first like 3-4 episodes.
Oh man,
I'm just saying, man.
He had me fooled for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
like I
these
said,
people
I just thought he
how
was
the
dumb.
turntables.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Ruka may be smarter than we think, and
I'm
the
willing
worst
to
thing,
accept that.
yeah, the worst thing we can assume is that he's dumber than he is, right? But let's stop talking about Ruka and instead talk about Haruka, right? So after the intro plays, still with the bad music, we cut to a scene where Haruka finally comes back to the house. She apparently stayed at an after party after golfing with some old people, which I want footage of that just because I'm morbidly curious.
I know.
Like,
Dude.
why, how, what happens?
I want to
was
see
like
her
a
swing.
competition too.
I want to see her swing the 3-wood, man. Like, it sounds like she's really good at golf too. Like, I want to see this stuff. Why aren't we seeing her swinging golf clubs?
Yeah, I want to see her do the golf.
Come on.
There you go.
It sounded cool.
Yeah,
On the
but
green? Question mark?
she also stopped by her apartment to grab some extra stuff, so she's carrying a lot of stuff with her, right? And after she leaves to go to her room to put away everything, they stop on this long shot of Ruka, just kind of like he's looking at the table very longingly, and it was weird. It felt very contrived, like the editors being like, "Get this shot in there."
He's longing.
Yeah, and Shohei's just like, dude, say something to her.
He's pining. But
Yeah.
let me ask you. Hold on, you said something there, Robert. So, do you say Haruka went to her apartment, so she has a secondary place of residence at the same time as staying at Terrace House?
I mean, they all some of them live near or in Tokyo, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've actually heard rumor that the residents of this season of Terrace House are only there 3 days out of the week to shoot.
No shit.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know all the facts to that, but I've seen it thrown around, and I wouldn't not believe it.
Well, the cameras
It has-
cameras come a few days of the week. They're not there 24.
The other 4 days they're shooting adult films.
Yep.
Gosh.
Good God.
So far though, I do have to say, like, it's been very, like, with everyone's schedules have been very convenient that we've been able to have like most everyone in the house at the same time.
That's true.
Like-
Yeah. Usually, so like at least a resident or two are out of the house on the trips or whatever.
Huh.
Business trips, what have
I
you.
hope that rumor's not true. That would make me kind of sad about Terrace House, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
I want them living there, man.
The magic would be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really living together, is it?
I'm pretend I didn't hear that.
Got him.
Yeah.
But then we cut to the girls' room where Haruka catches up with Risako and Kaori, and they kind of go over Risako's date again with Ruka. Again, just cementing the fact, yeah, Risako definitely had fun on that date, right? And she thinks that Ruka is that one guy in the house that's easiest for her to talk to. Haruka adds on and says for her, that's Kenny.
Yes.
And that's when they kind of talk a little bit about the guitar lesson and how they're like, oh, Kenny said that Haruka was really cute while she was doing the guitar lesson. So I don't know.
Dude, everyone's going in all these different directions, man, and nobody's kind of like syncing up just yet.
Well, because right now we have a triangle between Kenny, Kaori, and Haruka.
Yep.
And then there's Shohei off in the corner trying to get Kaori. And then another triangle with Ruka, who wants Haruka, but also Risako wants Ruka. Is that about right?
I just want to go on record here that I
Yes.
called a triangle between Kenny and those two ladies. It's on the record. It's on the internet. Just saying.
Two triangles and a line. That's
Okay,
what we
listen,
have.
I want all you commenters to talk mad shit about Jack.
Got him.
Go. It's fine.
Just no reason.
Why?
Just because he was right. Just because he was right.
How dare you be right?
How dare you?
It was a pure guess. It was just a guess. But it was a lucky guess. But I wonder about Kaori and her feelings towards Shohei. I don't get a strong sense that there's a lot of chemistry there. But we do already have those scenes that we already discussed with Kaori and Kenny. You know, and Haruka's got her eyes on Kenny too. So I don't know. I mean, like Tori-chan said this episode, Shohei's stock went up with cooking, right? I mean, they could only go up after the tempura incident.
Yeah, because
But-
tempura is the all-time low. Like he said some stupid shit there.
Yeah, he didn't help himself. He didn't do himself any favors. There.
I did notice in the flashback to that though, like how quick like Kaori laughed at that. And I don't know if that was like a haha, oh yeah, or like a wow, you just said that kind of laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a nervous laugh.
Right. So here in the panel, I just want to highlight that scene where apparently Tori is still very smitten with Ruka.
Yes.
And
Yes.
all Yama had to do was say, just imagine me if it were me who thought plain was an ingredient. And then Tori makes this choice face where she's just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Like, would it be cute? Like, she is under Ruka's spell. And I think Ruka is, he's charming in his own certain special way. He has certainly charmed some of the ladies on the panel. And
I can't wait for that charm to shatter.
I think it's a bubble that is gonna pop, and I don't know why, but I get a feeling we don't know everything about him yet.
Yes,
like you keep saying, Robert.
Yeah, we're gonna learn. I feel like we have a lot to learn about Ruka yet.
There's a dark side in him, and I want to see it.
We can't help but keep talking about him is the thing too. So
Yeah.
The producers picked a hell of a cast. Definitely an interesting cast this time around.
Ruka having a dark side would be one of the coolest fucking things that could ever happen this season, I think.
What if he was just straight up evil?
It's kind of like with Yui.
Yeah, dark Ruka.
Yeah, because like with Yui for the longest time, I wouldn't have thought of her to be the shit stirrer that is the sock incident, but that happened.
That's why I'm with Yama. I want him to be a dog.
Same.
So
are we just gonna have an episode where like some shit goes down and then Ruka just like comes out and he just starts maniacally laughing?
You've all fallen into my trap. The
He's
Detective
Palpatine.
Conan movie was the first step.
In my 67-step plan toward your downfall.
wow.
But after the panel, we see that scene with Shohei getting his interior job back. From there, we go to the living room and kitchen-ish area where Risako is wearing an Ozfest / Iron Maiden shirt playing.
That's literally cut in half and then stitched back together.
Yeah.
And I was
Dude,
does she
people
even know what
used-
either of those things are?
Dude, people used to get beat up when I was in school for wearing those kind of clothes. Now it's like super in fashion. Now it's like you're like the bleeding edge of
Streetwear.
fashion.
Yeah,
wearing
she
old band
probably.
shirts.
I'm not joking. She probably bought that at somewhere like a Forever 21.
Dude,
Or at least an
I know.
equivalent.
Like they have like "Rain and Blood" by Slayer. It's like in a hot pink video. Like it's
So
like
edgy.
crazy, man. It wasn't like that when I was in high school, kids. I'm just saying you would get a wedgie.
No. Not even when I was in high school.
But yeah, so she's playing with a Kodama. Shohei's in the kitchen cooking, and they stop to talk about how Ruka is apparently super sick now all of a sudden. And Risako actually offers like, I'm gonna bring him some fruit. I'm gonna help him out. I'm gonna nurse him back to health a bit.
This was super sweet of her.
The impression I've gotten from consuming a lot of Japanese media is that apples is very much like the go-to for like, oh, someone's sick, like apples, like sliced apples.
Or orange.
Is it like the equivalent of chicken soup for us?
Kind of.
Chicken noodle
I mean,
soup?
it's not like the warm, like he eats kongi, which I guess is kind of more.
Looks like a porridge almost.
Yeah, it's like a rice porridge.
It's like a rice porridge. So that would be more like the chicken soup, but like apples are good for you.
Yeah. And I
An
love
apple a day keeps the doctor away, but I'm already sick. Whatever.
I'm just trying to treat you. Please let me near.
but yeah, she delivers the goods to Ruka, gives him some of the fruit, gives him some of the kongi. She, I think, is alluding to the fact that it's another plain food, and she's like, oh, do you like it? Is there enough seasoning for you, or is it too plain? Kind of a thing. And I'm like, that's pretty good.
Sorry, there's no plain in this.
Plain, my favorite flavor.
Can I get some plain in this?
Well, I mean, we kind of skipped over it too, but he does talk about Haruka. I did want to point this out where he's like, I can't drink, I won't, or I don't like it, but I can't drink coffee. I can't drink soda. I'm like, this guy is a living grandma. Like, he can't handle coffee, and soda's like too much for him. Like,
Yeah, I can't
who
do
is this
coffee. I
guy?
can't do soda. I mean, I can't do soda, but fuck if I don't love coffee. No, I wonder what it is. Is it the caffeine or is it just the taste? I feel like with him it would be the taste. He definitely seems like the type that would have the palate of like a fucking 12-year-old.
Plain is a flavor to this man.
He just if they made plain soda, that would work.
Can I get my bread
plain
sandwich
soda.
extra plain, please?
Yeah, I feel like he's the type of guy that would go to like, he's like the equivalent here of someone going to a Japanese restaurant here and ordering chicken tenders.
Yeah. But no, that
Admittedly,
conversation.
though, he sounded fucked up.
Yeah.
He was definitely
sounded
sick.
sick.
He was definitely sick.
Right. That conversation with Haruka happens later on in the episode. So we didn't like skip over it or anything.
Oh, okay. Word.
Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely very sick. And it's to the point where Risako is like, I know you need meds, you need drugs. And she actually just goes to a store. She just leaves the house.
Damn.
And gets medicine and a thermometer.
In the middle of like dinner too.
Yeah.
Like she missed out on the house dinner.
And like when I just want to point this out, when she finally sits down to actually have dinner, she talks about like, oh, she is starving, right? So she went out on this walk to get drugs for this boy while very hungry.
She didn't
That
have to do
is
that.
dedication.
Yeah, it is. And this is where like she really kind of stole my heart here. Like she was super just supportive and really cared for him, really empathized with him, wanted to make him comfortable. I mean, wow. Like, do you think this was enhanced by maybe like her own personal feelings for him? You think she would have done this for pretty much anybody? Is she kind of like the house mom in a way, or would she only do this for Ruka, you think?
I think part of it is definitely her feelings for him.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of the motherliness though, because she's also a fitness trainer, right? So I think she knows a thing or two about just like nursing people to health or like what you need to do to beat the cold real quick, right?
Like she asked him like, what's your average temperature like, and he's like, I don't know. Am I supposed to know that? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think part of it is just like she has the knowledge, but also she has a little bit of the feelings.
And she bought
Okay,
she bought the thermometer too, right?
Yeah, she bought it.
Dang.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna confess something. So the part where the thermometer happens, right?
Yeah, I know you're gonna say.
Because we knew that he was getting his temperature taken, and I was like, "Where is the fucking thermometer?"
You don't see it anywhere.
You don't fucking see it. I was like, because here it's like you put the thermometer in your mouth. That's it. You get the temperature.
No.
Orally.
You
What?
heathens, you do not put the thermometer, you put it in your armpit.
Yeah, your armpit.
No.
It was
What?
in his armpit.
No, that's what he did. But
Yeah.
what we're saying is like normally here in the States, at least where I was raised, you put it in your mouth.
You put it in your mouth.
You know, so when
You
someone
don't
says,
put that shit in your mouth.
"Yeah, you do," what do you say?
My household, you stick that in your armpit.
That we never did the armpit ever.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
are
almost
the
never
weird
did the
ones.
There were
armpit
two
thing.
places,
I think
and
I
one
remember
was
maybe
your mouth.
once
I
or
don't
twice.
care if I'm outnumbered. Y'all are weird.
The point being is I thought that fucking thermometer was in his ass. That's what I'm getting at.
Right. Right. Which
Yes,
is
I was wondering too because I was like, "Where is this thermometer he keeps talking about?" He's obviously talking.
I was
and he's sitting there.
there's no way it's in his ass because there's no way. They went out of their way.
I was like, damn, did he just put that thermometer straight up his ass, like right in front of her? Like, that's what I was like,
There's no fucking way.
they're already very intimate with each other.
Dude, I'm with you.
You just hear like a really muffled beep.
And I was kind of like waiting quietly with bated breath, and then he pulls it out of his shirt. I was like, oh, thank God.
Thank God. Dude. So, Daly, you've never put a thermometer in your mouth.
I feel really stupid now, but
No, I don't. You never put a thermometer in your mouth.
Not until I moved in with my boyfriend Zach.
Wow.
And he was like, you put it in your mouth. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No.
because Zach is in the same room as you, and he's hearing this out of context right now.
You put it in your mouth.
And I'm like, what? No.
Oh man.
All right, things are getting a little too hot here.
You're gonna get an earful of that later.
Wait, we got a fever running here.
Yikes. And the only cure is thermometer in the mouth.
Oh, I'm dying.
Robert, where do you put your thermometer, man?
I put it in my armpit.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you, Robert.
The best
Thank
way
you.
to do it is to have those fancy ones that go in your ear and you just like pull the trigger real quick and then it takes it.
Yeah, that's the
That's
best
money though. Yeah.
Right. That's like
Yeah,
that's some doctor
that money.
shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
But while Risiko's nursing Ruka, right, in the kitchen, Shohei, Kenny, and Haruka are eating there, and it's kind of a little awkward. It's just them being like, yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is great. And then Haruka starts asking more pointed questions towards Shohei. Definitely hates him, for sure. I don't think they're going to be friends when they leave the house.
No, I don't think so.
It's ruined.
Yeah, but she asks Shohei, oh, so why are you going out with Kaori? And he's like, I don't know, I'm interested in her. And then she's like, oh, like love? Do you love him? Do you love her? Because when you say stuff like that, I would think that you love her. It's like, that's such a weird way to ask, do you like this person?
It was a weird interaction for sure.
Yeah,
she will stand no ambiguity for anything. She's like, everything has to be super clear cut. You're either doing this or you're not.
Well, I think part of it too is just like, I think she has a disposition towards Shohei just because of that interaction that they had before.
A negative disposition?
Yeah. I think she just doesn't. It's kind of left this negative impression of him in her head. So that way, like as soon as they start interacting with each other, she's already off on the wrong foot.
Yeah. Let's see. The rest of the scene is basically Risiko going down to get the dinner, and then she tells everyone that Ruka had a dream, and that's kind of I didn't think about that, but that's kind of, like now everyone in the house knows.
Right.
And at that moment, Ruka doesn't know they know.
Yeah, it was literally everyone but Ruka.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But then after everyone leaves, it's just Shohei and Risiko at the table now, and this is where Risiko is laying out the whole maybe Ruka might be a player. He unawarely says things that would make girls fawn over him. And
so they think he's probably broken a few hearts in his day.
And I want that to be true, and I want him to be a dog.
Yes.
As Yama whispered to the sound guy.
Dog.
He's a dog. Please be it. I agree. I want that bad.
And then we cut to the other side of town in Sangenjaya, where Shohei and Kaori are at this Osaka diner, where it's the place that Shohei wanted to bring Kaori. Like, it's this place he's wanted to visit after his long stint away from Japan. And he's drinking a green tea highball, which I've never seen before, but I really want one now. Because it looks
very green.
It looks like a green beer, like St. Patty's green beer. But
but it had ice in it. Yeah. So it was like, what is this?
See, I looked at that.
Don't put ice in beer.
I looked at that and I was like, no thanks. Give me a regular beer like Kaori had. Just different strokes, I guess.
Right. But yeah, this conversation, it's pretty muted. I'd like to imagine that there's a lot more conversation that happens, and they just gave us the important bits, I guess. But essentially, they kind of make vague plans of, oh, there's another bar we should go to sometime, right? Kaori says she's never had tamago kake rice, which I guess is wild for Japanese.
Tamago kake gohan.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys had that?
Yes.
I'm guessing it's just egg and rice, raw egg on top of rice. Sounds good.
Yeah. And you mix it up so it gets very fluffy.
Sounded like she didn't like that people put soy sauce on it, maybe?
Yeah, that was weird. So no soy sauce on rice.
That was a point of contention. It was like pure rice only in her household.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Shohei's like, I like to mix it up every time. I'm getting the sense that Shohei just does not like routine whatsoever.
He will do whatever.
He goes out of his way to just avoid doing the same thing no matter what.
Also, while we're talking about him real quick, I noticed it happens a couple times this episode where when he takes compliments in a weird way. Like when people were commenting his food, usually you're just like, oh, thanks, I'm glad you like it. He's like, no, I can tell you like it by the way you're eating it. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And then also when Kaori was complimenting or saying that, it's nice to have him around, he like just goes double down on it. He's just like, yeah, it's a good thing I'm here, right? Like I'm the best one in the house or whatever. It's like,
aren't you glad I'm here?
Yeah, aren't you glad I'm here? Yeah, like bro, slow down. Holy crap.
You're happy I exist.
Yeah, it's like he needs that affirmation of you need me, right? I'm useful in your life.
It was annoying.
Yeah, it's like almost like he's trying to create like a rapport with other housemates, but they're not taking it that way. And now he because of that, because he's not reading the room, he's just coming across as an ass.
Dude, right. You know what? The more we examine this, it just reeks of insecurity to me.
Yes.
Insecure, and that keeps coming up in the show. Just insecure.
Yes,
He's
I agree.
insecure. Don't know what for, except I do know what for.
Got him.
Whoa.
But
Fucking got him.
Damn,
Yeah,
got serious.
yeah, Kaori says the reason that she actually was leaning on Shohei a bit is that she is a little bit overwhelmed and stressed out about living with a bunch of people in this house, right? Like that's something that's pretty new to her. She said she cried on the third day.
Not expected to hear that. That was a surprise.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I appreciated the honesty though, because like you never really think about like what kind of pressure does that put on a person? Like I can't imagine how I would deal with that pressure of like knowing that, you know, any mistake that I make not only is going to be witnessed by my housemates, but everyone that's watching this show.
Yep.
And everything you do and say is going to also be seen at the same time you're living in that house too. You know, there's
you
like
have to
no
react.
secrets there. Yeah, there's like all the walls have ears in this house. And it's only a matter of time.
That's the thing. I don't think no matter what they do to make the show more comfortable and things like that, people are always going to be hyper aware that they're being filmed, unless it was just like some sort of hidden camera show. And so in that sense, we're never going to see how these people truly live.
Right. Which is fine. I'd rather them have that sense of privacy, right? With as much as we're seeing of their pseudo private lives, right? It does feel a little bit voyeuristic. But I don't know. I guess it was just nice to see Kaori isn't this infallible goddess, this bulwark of, you know.
She is a goddess though.
She is a goddess, but she's also
human.
still human. Yeah, she's still human,
Yes.
right? Which is nice to see.
She's a mortal goddess.
Whereas with Shohei, he's just a big ass grandstander, definitely out of insecurity. Because the last bit they have here in this conversation is like Kaori asks, "Hey, so why did you ask me out?" And Shohei, he started off fine. He was just like, "Oh, I just wanted to get to know you more." Should have stopped there. But then he goes on and says, "If you didn't say yes, I would have gone home."
Bullshit.
It's like,
Lie.
dude, stop.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, first of all, you're putting. First of all, that's shitty to say. Secondly, you're putting that on someone.
Yeah.
It's almost like
You know what I'm
borderline
saying?
abusive in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
If you didn't say yes, I would have left this. I would, you know, this one reason I came to Japan to live in this house, I would have left it if you said no.
That's very
sort of thing.
manipulative.
Yeah,
I want to
I
get a
think-
little. I want to just get a little less serious. But I just want to ask. Table. Did anyone get romantic vibes from Kaori's side? Because I sure didn't get any
No.
at all.
Not romantic.
I think she's
They're-
nice and they could be good friends.
Yeah,
I
they
feel
could
like,
be
especially after he said that comment about like I would have just left. I feel like after that, in her head, she would kind of like flip the switch, and it was kind of just a front after that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Kaori, I think she's one of those people that would be a great podcast host, right? Because she can talk to anyone and get interesting stuff out of them and still be very personable to them. You know, just make a very comfortable vibe, essentially. And,
Right.
and that's kind of what I felt here. You know?
She's like the epitome of being secure, and Shohei's like the total opposite.
Antithesis.
Like,
The opposite.
yeah.
Do you think that's why he's drawn to her? Not to be cliche about the whole opposites attract thing, but like, do you think that because she is so rooted, grounded, secure as a person, maybe he's hoping that being around her will kind of like he'll get some of that residually?
That's
Isn't it
hard to say.
ironic that that's like the most insecure thing you could do is hope to leech someone else's security as your own?
See now, dude. Now we're just like the more and more I think about this, the more it's like red flag. Now because now I'm starting to think he's definitely like the codependent type too in a relationship.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know. It's weird
We'll
with
see.
Shohei.
But now we're throwing out a lot of
projecting
theories right now.
Yeah, this is a
we're-
lot.
because
We're
at the
doing
same
out a
time,
lot of
Episode
speculation.
because at the same
Getting really
time,
deep here.
at the same
Can you
time though,
back
he's
up a
taking the
little?
mentor role with Ruka. He's helping him out. He's encouraging him. He's being a good big brother there. So he's very complicated person.
Yeah, let's
Shohei.
actually jump to that scene because we're almost at the end here, right? So it's like the next day or something. Some time has passed, I assume. Maybe, I don't know. Editing's weird. We're in the kitchen with Shohei, Ruka, and Haruka, right? And this is the scene where Ruka and Haruka are working on the dishes and they talk about coffee and tea. And then Haruka kind of just lays out there, "Oh man, I need to go pick up my heavy guitar from Harajuku, and it's so heavy, and it's in a hard, heavy case. God, I wish I didn't have to carry this heavy thing."
She's throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And And then we come to see the guitar. I mean, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but it's not that bad.
No,
it's
really
like
not.
a normal guitar case.
Yeah, she jokes about it later. It's like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it'd be,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But nonetheless, Ruka picks up on it and is like, then let me come pick you up. It's very assertive, which I kind of didn't expect from him, but it's just like,
Same.
hey, let me come pick you up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and we don't get to figure out if he's gonna make a move or not.
Yeah, because okay, so here's the thing. This entire scene kind of made me think of like, am I watching a high school drama right now? Because every moment, every moment, Ruka is kind of like interacting with Haruka. You see Shohei kind of look up from his computer,
Dude,
like with a sly little smile.
It's totally like Emilio Estevez in Breakfast Club.
Yes,
like it's just so funny, those reactions, and he's just kind of sitting there at the table. Shohei is just listening to how ridiculous it is when Ruka's talking about how he can't drink coffee and soda and stuff. It's like, what is this world what is this interaction we're witnessing? But I could see it play out with anyone else besides Ruka, where he's like, I'll pick you up. Oh, do you have any other plans? Like, he could easily like parlay this into like a date, which is what Shohei was hoping would happen. Like, oh, maybe since we're out, we should get dinner, or we should get lunch, or we go for a walk.
Hey, I know this nice place on the way back.
Yeah. Nothing though.
Oh yeah. It's just I really hope it doesn't choke. Please don't choke.
Yeah, we'll have to see, right? Because Shohei immediately asks, why didn't you just ask her out after Ruka leaves, or Haruka leaves, and then Ruka says, please have patience with me.
I like the way he very formally said that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I still feel like it's a front. I'm full on the theory that Ruka is a dog.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
feel like
maybe he can. Maybe he can be both. Maybe he can
A pure dog.
be kind of a pure dog. Like he's not
dog.
meaning to do it, or like it's not sinking in that he's being very callous with people's emotions, and he's just caught up in. He's too embarrassed to acknowledge it in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've been speculating pretty hard on these guys. So I mean, we've been trying to find red flags and stuff and kind of digging those out, especially with Shohei. But I mean, we don't really know until we know, I guess.
Well, we get to see red face at least. That's a red flag.
He wore the red shirt with the red car.
Yeah.
Got a red face.
Like it was just red all over, right? Because because of the last scene with the panel, we pretty much talked about a lot of the same stuff they already did. And this final shot we get is in Yoyogi in Tokyo, right? And it's just Ruka getting out of a car he definitely does not belong in, just in general. Like that's just that's not his car. We know.
It looked nice. Yeah,
it did. Matching the car, like Jack said, red and everything. And he's just kind of standing there for a while. It's a very long shot of just him kind of bumbling, and then the camera focuses, long focus. We see Haruka walking.
The music swells. Yes. It's a moment. Their eyes lock.
It took him a while for she was waving for a good minute before he was like, oh yeah, that's her.
That's her. Oh yeah, I should wave too. Hey, hello, hi.
And then he thought to himself after thinking for a while. It's kind of like, it reminded me of when like the Pentagon was telling Bush that 9/11 was happening. He just sat there for a while and didn't know what to do. But this is like Ruka. He's like, oh, what do I do? And then he decides to walk towards her, grab the guitar, dude, help her out, carry it. And she was smiling. She was glad to see him.
Yeah, and he does grab the guitar. He carries it for her. Very nice, because it's a very heavy guitar. It's just such a gentlemanly thing to do, to carry something like that. I wrote in my notes after he puts the guitar in the car, and he's about to get ready to drive away, he says, and I quote, "I'll pull out so you can get in," at which point I audibly said and then wrote, "That's what she said."
Way to go.
Thanks.
See, here's the thing. You're not allowed to not like being called the creepy uncle on Terrace House Podcast when you say something like that. It's one or the other. That's all I'm saying. Daily is
for
done.
the nth time. This will be my last episode of Tadaima Terrace House Podcast.
The same. But then they're both in the car and it drives off into the sunset.
The cloudiness.
The concrete jungle.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, man, because there's one thing that Terrace House is good at. It's setting up a pretty good cliffhanger.
Leaving you hanging.
It's like, fuck.
Will he say, hey, are you hungry? Do you want to get something to eat? Or will he just be awkwardly quiet on the rest of the drive?
So that's good.
Next time on Terrace House.
Good question. Predictions, though.
I think his face is going to get so red that Haruka is the one that has to initiate conversation. And then it goes from there.
Okay, all right. That's way better than my theory. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
My theory is that he doesn't do shit, but Haruka asks him out.
Yeah, because his face is red, and she's like, "Oh."
I think
okay?
she's like
feel like
very
it's
happy
gonna
that he
be-
offered to pick her up. Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be in the sense where it's just like, I'm hungry. Let's like just stop by somewhere. And then maybe we'll have the reverse situation as to what's happening with Ruka and Rizako. And he's going to take that as meaning, oh, this means that she really likes me. Whereas she's just like, I just wanted something to eat.
Yeah. And she's really got her eyes
Seems
set
realistic.
on Kenny.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see all these possibilities.
Yeah. I don't know. We're at this weird point where like the first dates have happened, and I kind of feel, well, not all of them, because we haven't seen Kenny and Haruka, right?
Yeah,
But,
I'm waiting for that one. I hope that's next episode, please.
yeah, it better be next episode. But I'm at this point where I'm still feeling like, as much as we've seen some pathways being laid, things could still go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The possibilities are endless.
Same.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just curious as to how these people are going to get along with each other. I wonder if we get a moment where Haruka and Shohei actually Shohei actually sit down and have a conversation. Instead of it being and ending with them being at each other's necks. Really,
Their interactions so far have been kind of unsatisfying.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I'm talking about Kenny and Shohei. Sorry, that was internal dialogue I was having there. Kenny and Shohei right now, they don't seem to be like jiving so much on the guys' side.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There might be some.
I think that stemmed from the tempura incident. I think at that point, Kenny was just kind of like, "Oh, this clearly we think differently."
Yeah.
Even
Agree,
though I
disagree.
feel like, wouldn't it kind of make sense for Kenny to get along, because he also does drawing on the side, right? So like he's also a dual skilled boy.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get in the weeds with this, but I think like a lot of people have hobbies and stuff. But it's like, what do you want to do how do you want to make money? Like you have to dedicate yourself to that whole hog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Kenny wanted to make merch off his drawing, so that. I mean, I would say that's a step higher than hobby, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
but no, if there's anything, these have been a pretty darn eventful like first 3 episodes though. Like there's stuff happening. Wheels are turning.
It's full of stuff.
People are building relationships. People are ignoring each other.
Like there's a lot to talk about here, which is crazy. And these episodes are long too. Like we're already starting with like the 40-minute, 37-minute episodes, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I say let's wrap up our episode this week. That should do it for this week. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please don't spoil anything for us. But if you want to let us know your thoughts on our thoughts, please email any and all of those things to us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. You can catch us next Tuesday with another episode of Tadaima. We're going to cover episode 4 of Tokyo 20. And I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how wrong we all are. Probably.
Yes.
I know.
I like being proven wrong by this show.
I like being surprised. Yeah, and then I'm going to go watch this right now. I can't wait.
Yeah. But that's about it for us. This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Itekimasu.
If you enjoy our show, please like, comment, and subscribe, and ding the bell to receive notifications when we publish new content. Follow us on social media and check out our brand new Discord server linked in the description below.